Hello and welcome to Living Your Spirit with Anthony, the podcast where we talk about the 7 areas of life that shape you, your family, and the ways these areas influence everything happening in your home. If you've got a question or something on your mind, you can call and leave a voicemail at 1-609-310-1777. All right, let's get into today's episode. Hello, friends. So this week, I had one of those dark nights where I felt stuck, exhausted, and like nothing was working. In fact, it was a couple nights ago. It's Anthony, and this is episode 138 of Living Your Spirit. On stop waiting for your life to get better. So picture this. It's 2 a.m. or maybe 3 or 4, whatever. You can't sleep and you're waiting for your life to get better. You're thinking about what you want and you're wondering why it's not happening. So maybe it's because you're thinking it's not happening versus living your spirit, being social, being friendly, being loving, being compassionate, mostly with yourself, but also with others. And just having the expectation and the assumption that what you want is moving toward you versus I'm waiting for this thing to happen. So that's a pretty different dynamic. I'm happy with my life now. I'm living my life now. And I have an expectation or an assumption that these things will unfold for me versus living life waiting or in a holding pattern. The problem with that is we wait for external permission to feel good or to enjoy life. It's one of those I'll be happy when, or I would be happy if the girl calls, if the guy calls, if I get the job, if I get the raise, if I lose the weight. I think you have an idea. You know what I'm talking about. If you've listened to previous episodes, they kind of have the same general feel. You're not living your spirit. So my story is, I'm sitting in the car, it's dark, I'm watching the river flow by, and a thought rolls in. Why don't I have more clients? Why am I not in better shape? Did I pass my exam today? All these things come up. And is it the thought that comes first, or is it the feeling that comes first and creates the thought? Either way, I start to feel like crap, like life isn't going the way I want it or need it to go. And we all have had those situations, right? We could be happy one minute, and then the next minute, there's the dark cloud. So feel it, be aware of it, understand it, and then move out of it as gently and as quickly as possible. So the shift is act excited first. Act like you have the thing first. Feel the feeling of having it now. Feel the feeling of doing it now. What if you had the job? What if you had the date? What if you started that new career path and it was working perfectly? What if you moved to that new neighborhood or new town or new state or new country and everything was going swimmingly? So that's the shift. Get out of the negative, move into what you really want, and start to see your life unfold in a manner that lines up with the way you're thinking and feeling. So years ago, I wanted a Mercedes. And, I knew all about the think about it, feel about it, act as if, blah, blah, blah. And I kind of did that. I felt the feeling of driving the Mercedes with my friends, the windows down, and the music playing. And you can not only picture that in your mind, but you can feel how that might feel. So I felt that, I thought that. And a couple months later, I was at the dealer signing the contract. I got the car I wanted for the price I wanted. And then I could actually, in reality, live in that space of, now I'm driving down the road with my friends in the car and the music playing. So another example would be, I know a lot of women that have had children and they don't feel sexy after one child, 2 children, 3 children, you name it, whatever it is. You can't get back in shape. You can't get your pre-baby body. You're upset. You don't feel sexy. There's a lot of extra work. You're taking care of the kids or the kid. The last thing you want to do is get all dolled up and look sexy. But if you think about it, you don't want to get all dolled up and feel sexy, but you don't feel sexy now. If you got dolled up, and I know that's a really strange term for some, but I'm an old guy. Get dolled up, feel sexy, jump in a hot shower, do your hair, do your makeup, do your nails, do whatever you need to do to feel good and feel sexy. And once you do that, not only will you be sexy, but you'll feel sexy. So it's kind of like you have to do the thing to give you the thing that you want versus I'll feel sexy when. I'll feel sexy when I lose the weight or when I get back in shape. Do you kind of get what I'm getting at here? Living your spirit means you're living your spirit. You're not waiting for something external to change who you are, what you are, or how you're living. So the challenge is pick one area. Maybe it's dating. Maybe it's getting fit or getting in shape. Maybe it's a new career path. And yes, this episode is dropping New Year's Eve. And we have New Year's resolutions for some people, which I don't believe in. I believe every day can be a new day. Every day can be a new resolution. So I don't do New Year's resolutions. So for those of you out there that do, you can use this. You can say, I'm not going to wait until I get the date. I'm not going to wait until I get in shape. I'm not going to wait until I get the job to be the person that I want to be. Now. So my question is, what areas do you feel stuck in? Are you waiting to get into that good relationship? Are you waiting for that new body to arrive? Are you waiting to start your new career, but you have no idea how you're going to get there? So act like the future now. If you were dating that person, how would you feel? What would you do? What would you say? What would you think? If you were in the shape you wanted to be in, where would you go? How would you talk? Who would you talk to? How would you feel? Those are the questions I pose to you. And if you have a question about how to make that shift, how to get out of the dark holes that we sometimes fall in, call the podcast at 609-317-1777 and leave your question on voicemail. I'll be sure to answer it in an upcoming episode. Thanks for listening and enjoy the new year. Thank you for joining me today on Living Your Spirit. If something in this episode stirred something in you, your vision for your family, or any of the 7 areas of life, you can leave a voicemail at 1-609-310-1777. Your question may be featured on an upcoming episode. Please know that your voice will be heard on that episode of the podcast. Stay connected to the people you love, stay grounded in what God puts in your heart, and I'll talk to you very soon. Have a great day, my friends.